Harry's Wife, Part 104.69. Political Ambitions, over before they began. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I've explained elsewhere why the political arena is a honeypot for our kind, and of course there has been some ridiculous suggestion that Harry's wife might make a tilt at the presidency on behalf of the Democrats in 2024, and of course that drew suitable responses of "I'd not heard that" from various people, through to "she'd never be able to do it and survive." Well, according to the Express newspaper, in an article by Rosie Jemson, we're now told Harry's wife's political hopes may be in tatters after alienation from half of the United States. There has been much speculation that the Duchess of Sussex could run in the next presidential election in 2 years' time, as poll results indicate she is a top choice for Democrats. But having exposed her political allies, Harry's wife may have ruined her chances of becoming the country's next leader, a commentator has told express.co.uk. Harry's wife may struggle to secure a pathway into a political career after alienating herself from large parts of the USA while exposing her allies, a royal expert has said. Nothing to do with the fact that she's just fucking useless, but hey. There has been a great deal of speculation about whether the Duchess will make the leap into US politics after previously campaigning on issues such as lobbying for paid parental leave, for all of 15 minutes. Royal expert Kinsey Schofield, host of the To Die For Daily podcast, discussed the possibility of the 41-year-old running for office in 2024. It comes after exclusive polling for express.co.uk by the Washington-based Democracy Institute found 64% of respondents felt the party should opt for a female candidate at the next presidential election in 2 years. Harry's wife, rather bizarrely, came first in the list of potential runners, with 27% in the poll of 1,500 likely Democrat voters. As I mentioned elsewhere, of course, though, you can massage a poll suitably with the framework of the questions to get the answer that you want to prove the point that you want to advance. But Miss Schofield told Express.uk she doesn't believe the Duchess would get very far after finding herself being rejected by large parts of the United States. She said, Harry's wife has done an incredible job alienating a large portion of the country by exposing her political allies. The United States is toxic when it comes to politics and communication. Few are invested in the monarchy, and all were eager to envelop the Sussexes with open arms. However, the second Harry's wife started appearing on panels with Stacey Abrams, Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, she found herself rejected by half of the country. Well, that's understandably so. But moreover, of course, Harry's wife, it's not just a case of alienating people. There's a lot of people who don't really care about her to begin with. And she'd have a hard job getting over that ennui as to people to go, sorry, why should I be bothered about her to even vote for her? Who is she? What's she done? What? She was an actress that married a prince. What's that got to do with the United States? So I actually see that whilst, of course, it is undoubtedly the case that she's alienated a lot of people because of her political allies that she selected, it seems to me that the larger problem that she has in the United States is a combination of she isn't liked, but moreover, most people really don't give a fig about who she is. They'll have vaguely heard about her and see that she's irrelevant with regard to the US. The article continues. Miss Schofield added that PR-wise, appearing with key political figures was a huge fail for the Duchess of Sussex. Again, this of course is demonstrative of her mid-range narcissism in full effect. It causes her to cozy up to those individuals and try and acquire character trait acquisition by viewing them as useful to give her a lift up the ladder. And to some extent it works by hobnobbing with these heavyweights. But the problem is that in so doing, she fails to define who she is, because of course she can't, because she's an anodyne beige mid-range narcissist. But also it means that she then becomes identified with those people. And in the minds of particular voters, they may well end up thinking this: you're allied with them, I don't like them, therefore, by extension, I don't like you. And it shows that collateral consequence of her mid-range narcissism in full effect. It directs her to cozy up to those people because it sees a short-term gain in doing so. It allows the assertion of control through those character trait acquisition steps that she's taken. However, the collateral consequence then later arises that having put herself alongside those individuals, people then see, no, don't like them, don't like you. And like so many things in the past, and will continue to be the case, it comes back and bites Harry's wife on the backside. The article continues. Since leaving the United Kingdom and moving to the United States, Harry's wife has involved herself in various soft political campaigns, all for the blinking of an eye, I would say, and has been associated with high-profile Democrats such as Hillary Clinton and the Biden family. Earlier this year, President Biden's sister, Valerie Biden Owens, publicly declared the Duchess would be welcome to join the Democrat Party. Ms. Owens, speaking with the hosts of Good Morning Britain, also said Harry's wife would make a good potential candidate for president one day. Prince Harry and Harry's wife are also believed to be friends with Hillary Clinton, well, that tells you a lot, who met baby Archie at Frogmore Cottage when he was just 6 months old. During their time in the royal household, Harry and Harry's wife also hired Mrs. Clinton's former campaign advisor, Sarah Latham, to head their communications team. Discussing reports of the couple's high-status friends, Miss Schofield said, Harry's wife never misses an opportunity to use someone with a bigger platform to elevate her own. Indeed, she always uses people. She used her father. She used Trevor Engelson. She uses Harry. She uses her friends. She uses everybody because she's a narcissist and her narcissism only looks at it in terms of a transaction. She can't see that. And therefore she thinks that she should be friends with these people, that they would like her, that she's got something interesting and meaningful to say. But despite claiming Harry's wife's political plans may be in tatters, the article continues, due to alienating half the country, the royal expert still believes the Sussexes would like to get more involved in state affairs, as they recognise politics as power. Now, Harry's wife's narcissism recognises that politics would certainly cater to the prime aims and would direct her to have some kind of involvement, naturally. It wants that to happen. But what do those below the line think of this development? Do they agree that she's alienated? Wild Wiltsman 1 just provides us with what must be some 200 laughing emojis. Annie M. Kligo, I do want her to stand for election just to watch her crash and burn in a heap of political rejections. Woman 55, the same Harry's wife that heads of state, foreign royalty and world leaders checked with the palace that she would not be present before accepting the king's invitation to the palace the evening before the queen's funeral. The woman with no credibility that no one can trust or wants to be in the same room with, running to be president. The woman allegedly so intelligent she had to study hard to fail a low IQ in citizen test. The woman who can't keep track of her lies. The woman with the moon bump and invisible children. The woman who refers to herself 50-plus times in 7 minutes at an event for children. The woman who made our queen miserable and blighted her last years and turned Philip dying into a personal slight against herself as she lied to Oprah. I could go on forever, but she's not worth the effort. Philippa, after reading Tom Bower's book, Revenge, Megs is a nasty piece of work, telling half-truths and making out she's given speeches at top venues when, in all it's been, is a small room in the same building. K0403. I live in the United States of America and is a load of rubbish that she would be number one on any list of women's candidates for president except, of course, her own. First, you'd have to explain to most Americans who she is, which is precisely the point that I made. Ava Islin, American here too, and you said it perfectly. From MD and living in Virginia now, I wouldn't even vote her for local town council. Philippa, well, it just shows what sort of forgiving person that Harry's wife is. The incident with the bridesmaid, flower girls, according to Harry's wife, not wearing tights, and Harry's wife's wedding, depending on which version. Harry's wife had Kate in tears and that night knocked on the door and handed Harry's wife a bunch of flowers. Harry's wife received the flowers, slammed the door in Kate's face, and then went and threw the flowers in the bin. Harry's wife's version, Kate came across that night, knocked on the door and handed her a bunch of flowers. I also read in Tom Bower's book that at their wedding reception, Harry's wife threw a cup in the air. What a petty, selfish, obnoxious person Harry has married. JBB1, again reinforcing the point that I've made, the majority of the United States doesn't care for Harry's wife. She's nobody of importance here. Let's guess one. Harry's wife has pulled a PR stunt and claimed herself as being the first choice for president. The positive thing is she'll make Biden look like a super fit brainchild on steroids instead of the geriatric fool he really is. Harry's wife is rock bottom. Granny's house. Harry's wife can make as much of a leap as she chooses. The US was never on board with her. We were politely quiet due to our love for the original Prince Harry, pre-Harry's wife, and Her Majesty the Queen. What you're seeing now is folks being more vocal and intolerant of the uncloaked Harry's wife. Those who knew of her never liked her, but most didn't even know who she was. But most are no longer willing to tolerate her after the stress she caused Her Majesty the Queen and her disregard and disrespect for the institution and the royal family. So, as I pointed out, even in these comments, it is demonstrative that most Americans really don't have much of a view of her in terms of relevance, and those that do don't like her. She is never going to get anywhere politically, and it's not a case of her ambitions being over before they began. The ambition she might have, but the ability to get anywhere, she does not have. Because her narcissism, whilst it's enabled her to marry men to progress herself through life, isn't going to be able to help her when it comes to politics. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.